welcome back to my channel. Okay, y'all, I am so excited to be doing a live because I have not done a live in such a long time. I'm really hoping that everything is working okay because usually I check on another device and I can't do that today. But hopefully it's working well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Tiana. I do all kinds of things on this channel. Following my micro life journey is the biggest thing, but I talk a lot about just hair care and hair growth in general. And I do DIY projects and like give a little bit of other stuff too that I'm interested in and I care about and I'm passionate about. So if any of that interests you, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. All of that fun, cool, lovely stuff. If you joined the live, thank you so much and welcome. And you know, just let me know how the video is doing because I can't check myself. But hopefully it goes well. Growth hair challenge book, and we did not finish, but we only have 3 sections left, and that is the section we're doing today. The final tips to remember, and just any last minute, like information about hair. Hi, Sister Francis. Oh, I love that heart. How did you get that heart so big? Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you to all of you that are here. So today we are reading through the book. Going back to school and stuff set me behind. So I haven't done lives in a long time with this book. But a year ago, we went through what the 6-month challenge is and what you could do for your hair in order to make sure that it's nice and healthy and stuff. So if you missed those videos, I have a hair growth playlist on my channel. You can go back and check it out. And I tell you what to do step by step every day, what you should be doing every week, and what you should be doing every month. So if you're not sure what those things are, please go back and check it. Today, I am telling you what are some final tips for when you are done the actual challenge. What are some things that you could be doing? So let me get started. Hopefully it's not too unstable, but if it's like really terrible, just let me know and I can always re-upload the video, unfortunately, but I can re-upload the video and just kind of make it a little bit more clearer for us. So we only have 6 pages today, not very long at all, and they're kind of full of pictures of these pretty little black flowers. But okay, after the challenge, so I'm gonna read, and like always, I will give you like an ad lib in between sharing, my thoughts and my information as I go along. But I love this book. If you're new, I love this book. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up though if you enjoy the video and the channel. All right, so after the challenge, the 6-month challenge should not only give you the boost in above average hair growth, so it should be above average growth that you see when you're done the challenge, but it should provide a radical reset for your hair. In this time, your scalp will have the opportunity to rebalance itself, clear any blocked pores, because so many hair products give you blocked pores, and that could be a huge reason why your hair growth is not the way you want it to be and why your hair doesn't feel as healthy as you want it to feel if you have a lot of blocked pores. But it will help you clear those out and create a healthy growth environment for your hair. And hopefully you'll actually start to fall in love with your natural hair texture. And I am all for that. You'll realize that your hair is not petrified, dull, and brittle as you first thought. But now you'll be able to start experimenting, wearing your hair out, and trying new styles. And I know that's important because part of this challenge is having a lot of protective styles. And a lot of people are like, I don't want to spend my life wearing my hair up all the time. And let me just say, for those of us with locks, it kind of allows us to wear our hair out while it's still in a protective style, because locks are essentially a protective style. But yes, once you kind of grow your hair to where you want it to be, you have a little bit more freedom with wearing it out and maybe not doing as many protective styles as you will do when you're trying to get it to that point. So you might have to sacrifice, like I say a lot, you might have to sacrifice in your beginning months, in your beginning year, trying to grow your hair past a certain state or past a certain length for a little bit with your protective styles. But hopefully in the long run, it's not something you always have to do. So now that you know what your healthy hair feels like, you're better able to recognize the effect that other products are having on your hair. Having an intuitive relationship with your hair lets you know, allows your hair to be able to tell you what it needs. Sometimes you may neglect your hair and it may need more moisture, or sometimes it feels too soft and limp. And in that case, it needs a protein treatment. But listen to your hair. So like I said, go back and watch your previous videos on when you should do a moisture treatment, when you should do a protein treatment, and all of those fun things. But I am a huge proponent of listen to your hair. A lot of times we come up with these regimens and routines, what we want to do. We want to wash our hair every 2 weeks, wet it every month, or whatever the case may be. But if it's not working for your hair, it's time for you to figure out what does work for your hair. And the more you become a little more in tune with your hair, you can know, like, all right, it's starting to feel a certain way, it needs moisture. It's starting to feel a certain way, I need to detox it. Or it's starting to feel a certain way, this product is not a good product. So you really have to be intuitive with your hair. And even though you might have a plan of what you want to do with your hair, when you want to do it, if it's not working, stop doing it. Stop doing it. And if your hair is constantly in the same, if it's constantly dry, if it's constantly brittle, if it's constantly the same length year in and year out, and you're not satisfied with that length or the way it feels, there's something you have to stop doing and most likely start doing as well. So try to figure those things out, because most people, unless there's some kind of underlying reason, and most times that's like a medical reason, most people are able to achieve and obtain their hair, the type of hair that they want as far as it being healthy is concerned. So really pay attention to your hair. Another thing to consider after your challenge is sometimes you may wear your hair in a style that cannot be wet daily, and that's okay. But when the duration of the style is over, determine if your hair is still hydrated enough or if it's in need of an oil, steam, or a moisture treatment. So again, I know I myself am guilty of this, of putting my hair in certain styles, and I like the style so much that I'm like, I do not want to wash it because I know it's going to mess up. But that's not something you want to make a habit of doing, of putting your hair in a style where you can't wet it and you can't wash it, or you can't give it the attention that it needs because you're so busy preserving this style. Part of this challenge, again, is a 6 month of just like protective styling. And that is a good time, if you choose your protective styles correctly, that's a good time for you to be able to wet your hair however often as you want to, however often as you need to, moisturize it, take care of it. So videos on this playlist for the hair growth, and you can see what you have to do. But try as much as possible to not get so caught up in styling your hair versus caring for your hair. It's okay to have a style where you might not wet it or wash it or do your normal treatments for some weeks, but this should not be your every single week routine where you're always putting a style and for 6 months you're not touching your hair at all. You're not wetting it, washing it, you're not caring for it, because many times in the long run, that's not going to be good. Even if you do something like you put your hair in a protective style, you don't touch it for 6 weeks, you see a lot of growth. I have seen so many people do that. They put it in a style, don't touch it for 6 weeks, see tons of growth, and then because they have this out and start styling it and not realizing that, yes, after the style, you needed to rebuild your hair up. You needed to re-moisturize it. You needed to take care of it again. You needed to change things up and put it back on a regular routine instead of seeing all the growth and then deciding that now you're just going to manipulate it all the time. And what happens in most cases is that you break it back off to where it was before. So be careful. Also, you can follow up with wearing your hair out for a few days or a week, then followed by daily rinses and a protective style for another week. And again, shout out to my sister Shades of Sage. If you're not already, subscribe to her channel, All Things Motherhood over there. But she had an excellent regimen for her hair when she was a loose natural, and that was to put it in a 2-strand twist for I think 2 weeks and maybe wear it out for 2 weeks, I think. But regimens like that really help because you're protecting it for a while and then you're letting it breathe for a while. Protecting it for a while and letting it breathe. But even in your protecting stage or your letting it breathe stage, one of those stages, if not both of those stages, should allow you to freely moisturize or wet or put a little bit of oil in your hair. Like, it should allow you to care for your hair. It should not be 2 weeks in a protective style, but I'm not wetting it, I'm not touching it. 2 weeks wearing it out, but I'm not going to wet it, I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to care for it. You do have to actively love on your hair most times to get it to respond the way that you want it to respond. If you're using products with synthetic styling agents, be sure to remove product buildup at least once a month using the Amla or Shikakai powder or the Castile soap. So kind of just making sure that at least once a month, if needed. This is if needed. If you need to, doing like a clarifying shampoo, if needed. But again, I am all for less products because that will eliminate all of that. But be careful with clarifying shampoos because sometimes you clarify. Oh no. Thank you, Sister Francis. I'm gonna go back and watch the video. If I absolutely hate it, then I will just reread it and upload a video for you all. But thank you. Let me know if it gets better or if it gets worse. But yes, so be careful with clarifying shampoos because your hair has its natural moistures and oils in it. So you do want to be careful with clarifying shampoos. And let me see something real quick. I don't know if I could do this while I'm on the live. Okay, Sister Francis, I changed your internet setting. Now, either that change is going to be good or that change is going to be bad. And I hope that the change is good. But let me know. Let's give it a few minutes to pan itself out. And hopefully it will be better. But yes, clarifying shampoos are good if you need it. If you keep a lot of products out of your hair, you really do not need it as much. But again, your hair has its own natural oils and things. So sometimes too much clarifying shampoo or too frequent clarifying shampoo is going to mess up your hair, and you don't want that either. All right, continue to take those supplements for the indefinite future. The ingredients in those hair supplements don't just benefit your hair alone, but they add much needed vitamins and minerals to your overall beauty, health, and well-being. So we did talk about some vitamins and some hair supplements you could take. And again, they're just good for your health overall. So if you want to keep taking them, go ahead and keep taking them even after your 6-month challenge, because your body and your hair, your skin, and your nails, they're all together. So your skin, your nails, your hair, they all might really like it and benefit from it. So, okay. Okay. All right, Sister Francis, keep me posted. But yes, so if you want, of course, keep taking those products. Because a lot of them are like herbs, there's no like reason why you have to stop, or like there are things that you mostly can take for a long period of time. But obviously, if your body's responding a certain way, you would want to stop. But if you're good with it and your body's good with it and you want to keep up with it, keep up with your hair supplements. Let me see. I only have 2 pages left. So, daily rinsing and protective styling should be kept up as a part of your healthy hair routine. So as long as you care to both grow your hair and maintain its health, you do, of course, have freedom to alternate between protective and loose styles. So again, over time, you might find that you can wear your hair out a little bit more and not use as many protective styling. But that's really for those that are really strong at caring for their hair. But again, your daily rinsing should be something that you're able to keep up and not having to put your hair in styles that you're not allowed to touch it. I think this happens a lot with us with the extra curly hair, because it takes our hair a lot to style, to blow dry and detangle and stuff. We often get caught up in putting it in styles and then just ignoring it, but that really does not work well for our hair. So even if it's in a protective style, again, making sure that you maintain moisture. It should never be drying out all the way to where it feels and looks dry and brittle. It's time for you to re-wet it, even if it's in a protective style, or take that style out and refresh your hair. So please be very careful with that. Maintain the same weekly or bi-weekly oil steaming, as this can be beneficial for the volume, thickness, and lushness of the hair. And she does put in here that heat is not your friend. For every stretched out style, which requires heavy heat, there is an alternative, more natural way of achieving it. However, if you must use heat, let it be a once in a while process. Okay, so I do want to say that what I did learn towards the end of my loose natural hair journey is I stayed away from heat for a while because everybody says heat is so bad. But what I learned is that as my hair grew more, because my hair is so curly, if I was able to stretch it out without using heavy heat, like she said, like I'm not flat ironing it or using a comb to blow dry it, but I used to use like the tension method, which was kind of a lot lighter application of heat for my hair. But what I found was actually using some heat and stretching it out some allowed my hair to not tangle as much, and in return it didn't break off as much. So stretching my curls allowed it to not tangle, and that allowed me to see a lot more of its growth and growth retention. So if you do use heat, obviously you don't always want to use the highest heat, but sometimes, honestly, sometimes stretching out your hair and using some heat could be good for your hair if you're doing it the right way. So hopefully those things help. But for me, all right, Sister Francis, we're almost done. I'm gonna go back and check the video, but hopefully that helps. For me, like I said, using heat, it actually turned out to be a pretty good thing. And I did use the tension blow drying, so it wasn't too much tension on my hair when I'm just holding it and blow drying it that way instead of combing it repeatedly with like the comb attachment. That helped out a lot. And I still do it with my locks. Well, I still used to do like the tension blow drying with the locks as well. But yes, those are the tips to remember after your challenge. All in all, in summary, if you want to summarize the tips, it is learning good, healthy hair practices for your hair so that even when you obtain, if you do the 6 months challenge, it gets healthier, you have to maintain it. If you grow your hair out, I'm telling you, I see this all the time. I used to see this all the time with my, like those that were in a cosmetology class with me. Like they would grow their hair out, but then the moment they take it out of that protective style and they had, you know, some growth for leaving it in for weeks, they would break it right off again because the styles they were doing were not healthy for them. And they would break it off again because they would not put the moisture back in it that maybe their hair lacked while they were in that protective style. So when you're done your 6 months challenge, or as you're learning how to take care of your hair and as you're learning to keep it healthy, try to keep up as many of these things as possible if you want your hair to maintain the same state of healthiness or get even more healthy, or you just want to see that hair growth and that retention continue to last. But that is all we have for today. We only have 2 sections left. I hope to God I could finish them. And that is final tips that she's going to offer you. And then, what's this last one? Questions and solutions, which I think I really do like the questions and solutions. So questions that people sent to her and solutions. And I think I put the book in the description. If you want to check out the book, it's in the description. I hope you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I hope it's not terribly terrible. But if so, I'll try to work something out, put in a comment or description or something that will try to help any information I felt like you missed that maybe you needed. But thank you so much for joining my live. Don't forget to thumbs up. And God willing, I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, everybody. Adios.